blessed are we? I don't want to rush through this.
Getting a battery.
Can we just linger for a minute? Truly, in this political moment, to get this opportunity to do this together, let's take notice. Rasmea, I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to introduce Rasmea. So she truly might not need any introduction. But for those watching at home, for those watching around the world, I want them to know who she is. Rasmea is a leading member of Chicago's Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim communities, and her decade of service in Chicago has changed the lives of thousands of people, particularly disenfranchised Arab women and their families. She has been the Arab American Action Network since 2004 and is responsible for the management of day-to-day operations and the coordination of its Arab Women's Committee, which has a membership of nearly 600 and leads the organization's work in the areas of defending civil liberties and immigrants' rights. As we all likely have heard, Rasmea, a victim of torture and sexual abuse by the Israeli military, has recently decided to bring to close her battle to win justice from the U.S. legal system. The U.S. Palestinian Community Network said in response, after living in this country for over 20 years, Rasmea was charged in 2013 with an immigration violation that was always just a pretext for a broader attempt to criminalize the Palestine solidarity movement. She has spent the last 3.5 years leading a powerful battle against the U.S. government's attempt to put her in prison for 7 years. Joined by hundreds of supporters for every court appearance and thousands of supporters across the country and the world. Her case has been championed not only by Palestinians in the Palestine Solidarity Movement, but also by the Movement for Black Lives, the Women's Rights Movement, anti-torture groups, and sexual assault survivor organizations, and has become one of the most prominent social justice campaigns in the entire United States. Her incredible legal team and the work of hundreds of defense committee members across the country, Rasmea won an appeal and a new trial, but even that good news doesn't change the fact that the justice system in this country is never just for Black people, Latinos, Palestinians, and other oppressed communities. With a racist new Attorney General and another racist in the White House, Rasmea knew she couldn't get a fair trial, even the second time around, and accepted a plea agreement that includes involuntary departure, but not 1 day in prison. Rasmea will be leaving us in a few months, but we know that within a short period of time, she'll have another Arab Women's Committee built somewhere. And her legacy of principled resistance to Israeli and U.S. crimes against Palestinians and all other oppressed communities will be ours to continue. We welcome you today, Rasmea, with love, with appreciation, with gratitude for all that you are.
afternoon, everybody. And thank you to Rebecca and Rabbi Wise and to Michael, Len, and the other Chicago organizers for this invitation to be here today with all of you. A revolution of anger sweeps over me these days, and my heart screams against injustice. I thought when I came to US and met it, my second home, it would be the last station in a journey of struggle that I share with my Palestinian people in response to the Nakba and the occupation of 1967. I was an infant during the Nakba, but I heard many stories of pain and bitterness from my family, who were forced, along with 750,000 other Palestinians, to leave the homes, lands, lives, and memories they had built for generations. Now I face a similar unjust Nakba, forced to leave the country and the life that I built for myself over 23 years in the US. The relationships, the memories, and all the people I know and love, especially the women of Chicago's Arab community. But I will continue my struggle for justice for my people. I will continue my struggle for justice for my people wherever I land. I will continue the struggle for the right of return, for self-determination, and for the establishment of a democratic state on the entirety of the historic land of Palestine. At an early age, I made 3 important decisions which pointed me to my future. First, that I would not accept despair in any situation. Second, that I would complete a high level of education to help me become a more effective activist, one who would fight for social, cultural, economic, and political change for my family, my community, and country. And third, that I would always help women, the vulnerable, and everyone else who needs it. When I immigrated to this country, after many years of working on women's rights and other legal advocacy issues in the Arab world, I found psychological tranquility and stability among family and friends, far away from any kind of the fear and threats. I determined that this would be my second home, where I would build a life amongst a Palestinian community that I love and respect so dearly. I have been working as a community organizer for the past 13 years with the Arab Women's Committee, a project of the Arab American Action Network in Chicago. I have spent the best years of my life with their Arab immigrant and refugee women. We protect each other and struggle for justice together through our organizing work. They are all helping me to live a generous and simple life and forget a lot of my personal pain. We created this committee from scratch. It now has over 800 members, not 600. We recruit them the old-fashioned way, through door knocking, home visits, and small group meetings. The women in the committee promote leadership by and for Arab women to build their capacity for positive change through adult education, community organizing, coalition building, and social services programs that challenge system of oppression such as national and racial profiling, sexism, and patriarchy. We built a formation of immigrant and refugee women who fight for their own rights and the right of all oppressed peoples. We all have a role to play in our own cities, our own neighborhoods. Organizing difficult. It's hard work, but it's the only thing that it's guaranteed to make change in this world. White people didn't just decide to give up their power and allow people their civil rights. It was fought for in a Black Leg movement that inspired the whole world, and it's still being fought for. Mubarak in Egypt didn't just walk away quietly from his presidency. It took 10 million workers on strike to push him out. And that revolution is still not complete. My organization, the AAAN, was one of the leaders of the shutdown of O'Hare Airport in Chicago the day after the Muslim ban was announced. We helped get 5,000 people to the airport over 2 days, and thousands more shut down a number of other airports in the U.S. Later, that same weekend, a federal court froze that executive order. But it wouldn't have happened without the mass movement. without the mass movement being in the streets. Trump lost Muslim ban too as well, and the health care bill, and he will lose many more. Even though he told us he was going to win more than any other president. He keeps losing because the people in the United States are in the streets resisting every single day. Of course, Zionists aren't going to stop their land grab in Palestine either. The Palestinians there and the Palestinian and our supporter here have to stop them with our resistance and our organizing. With BDS and with cultural and academic boycott and with challenging the Jewish United Front and the Jewish Federation and with shutting down the Zionists when they try to defend their war crimes and with defending our students and our community-based institutions and our organizers and our allies when they get attacked. Many hundreds of Palestinians and our supporters in the US have had to face government repression because of our effective organizing for peace and justice. And it's important that all of you continue your activism despite the attacks, because we are doing effective, impactful work in this country. Our community organization, our student organizers, our academics, our solidarity activists like JVP and others, all exposing Israel for the criminal apartheid state that it is. There's a long history of law enforcement repression against oppressed communities in this country. They always go after those like the Black Liberation Movement and so many others who are fighting for social justice, those who want to make a difference in the world. We are those people. We have to understand that we are targets, but also that we have the support of millions of others around the world who share our vision of historical Palestine liberation from Zionism, where all Palestinian refugees can return to their original homes, and where everyone there can live with dignity and equal rights. I'm going to have to leave you all at some point in the next few months. I'm going to have to leave Chicago and all the beautiful people who have welcomed me so warmly to this country and this city. All the people who have fought with my defense committee so bravely over the past 3.5 years. I survived another torturous ordeal because of all the incredible supporters people everywhere, include you. But I will still be organizing wherever I end up, and I'll be watching development in the US very closely, because besides Palestine, there is the main front of the battle for the liberation of Palestine. We need you to continue resisting Trump's agenda and to continue challenging the Zionists and to continue providing your solidarity and support to the Palestinian and Arab in the national movement. Your work is appreciated to my people, and I'm going to miss you all very much. Thank you.
We love you, Rasmea. Say it with me. We love you, Rasmea. Let's all take a breath.